Hello, Merry Meet. So, in this video, I want to discuss rosaries and how they can be of use to a pagan. Now, this is a rosary. It's a very cheap one, but it's a rosary nonetheless. And basically, what a rosary is prayer beads. A lot of different religions use these. The Catholics, that the term rosary comes from, um, Buddhists, Hindus, lots of different groups. And generally, what these are used for is to keep track of prayers. And this can also be extremely useful for pagans. First of all, when an item such as a rosary is used for your spiritual work, or used for your prayers, it becomes a very, very powerful symbol. For many Catholics, their rosaries is one of their most prized possessions, and it very much becomes a holy item because people it's such an important part in your prayer, and for me who believes in energy, it fills up with the energy of that prayer. Now, there's a lot of things that it can be used for. For example, let's say you're doing a meditation where uh, where you are to breathe a particular way so and so many times. Now, if you start counting the ways, how many times you're going to do it, that generally keeps you from, that generally keeps your focus on the counting instead of the spiritual work. So what you can do is like this, and just tick off a bead every breath, like that. That helps you keep count, but at the same time, you don't need to count in your head. This you can do the same thing for prayers. So, and also let's say for folk magic. So for folk magic, you're supposed to say something 7 times. So, and to be quite honest, sometimes then it's easy to lose track, especially when when your mind is focused on gathering energy. So, for example, let's say you are wishing general good luck on the world, and you have a spell where you're supposed to say the blessing 7 times. Yes, hold the rosary, and you say, May the Lord and the Lady bless the earth and all her creatures. May the Lord and the Lady bless the earth and all her creatures. May the Lord and the Lady bless the earth and all her creatures. The Lord and the Lady bless the earth and all her creatures. May the Lord and the Lady bless the earth and all her creatures. May the Lord and the Lady bless the earth and all her creatures. The Lord and the Lady bless the earth and all her creatures. 7. It's a way to keep count that doesn't. Basically, you have two parts of your brain. And one is the part that you engage in meditation, which also is the creative part and so on. The other part is the one that you engage when you do math, for example, and so on and so forth. And it prevents you from having to activate that part to keep count. For many, it's also a good way to keep count of a daily rhythm. For example, many Catholics say so and so many Hail Marys each day and keep count on it. Now, like I said, it can be used for a lot of things. And of course, when a tool like I said is used like that, it gets filled up with energy. So then it is a good thing to, for example, form a healing circle with. You use your rosary and you just put a picture of whoever you want to send healing to inside of it. It also forms a nice protective barrier. It can be used to cleanse stones with. with that it gets that much positive energy. You just lay it out on a table, put the stones around it, and it's a nice protective amulet for whoever wears it. Now, most rosaries are like this one. It has a crucifix and some sort of amulet up there. This is the Virgin Mary, but you can easily make a pagan, make or buy a pagan rosary. You just get some beads. It's very simple to make something like this, like I said. Each bead is, so here we go. Each bead is on one of those little eye pins that are just formed around it with a sort of tongue. And then you can have a pentagram or a goddess figurine and so on and so forth. And a lot of pagan stores also sell these. So basically, I think that a lot of pagans are a little bit worried about taking spiritual tools that are used by Christians and using it themselves. But I think that the Rosary is an amazing tool that has so many applications. It can be used to keep track of things during meditations and rituals. It can be used to bless things on the altar, and it's an amazing charm. So, yes. Now, exactly how many beads you want, that depends entirely on you. If you, for example, have a ritual you do each day that repeats something, let's say 30 times, and having 30 beads would be a good idea. Now, it's also good that you see here every one of the beads are the same size, but some of them have longer spacings between them. Something like that, or having beads with some beads being bigger than the others are a good idea, because that also is a good way to help you keep count. In addition, the basically monotone movement of ticking off beads is meditative in it of itself. Now, a rosary should not have a clasp. It should be like this. Basically, it shouldn't have a clasp. If you want to have it long enough that you can also wear it as a necklace, as I do with this one, which this one generally is a decoration. I don't use it for spiritual purposes. You have to measure out so you can put it on your head. But like I said, it should have a clasp, because a clasp would interrupt the perfect circle around. Now, also, like I said, some people say, but I don't want to have something that the Christians have. Yeah, but a lot of different cultures use rosaries. It's not a typical Christian thing. It's basically the name rosary is from the Catholics, yes, but prayer beads is used in so many religions, and more and more pagans embrace the practice. So here's what I really recommend if you're going to get yourself some prayer beads that you're going to use for ritual. You select a stone, and now if you have a particular type of ritual you're going to use it for, you should select the stone that works well with that particular type of ritual. It's not choose something that works with any rituals like amethyst, rose quartz, moonstone to a certain degree, smoky quartz, fluorite, stones that can work with any type of spiritual practice. Then you want a spacer for it, that with some sort of symbol, perhaps a tree of life, something like that, and something dangling from the end of it, perhaps a pentacle. And when making something like that for ritual, I would invest in getting real stainless steel or silver findings and real stone beads. And then you just put them together and you have an amazing ritual too. So, a few more um, ideas for use for them. One is that it's a great way to charge your divination deck. You just put the beads on top of the deck. It is a good way to protect against nightmares. You can say a little prayer over the beads to protect you and put them under your pillow while sleeping. They can be good to work with your memory palace, where you put memories into each bead on the strap. Like I said, it can be used to bless things on the altar and to cleanse stones. And it can be used as a sort of magical remembering things. You know, the same thing as tying a knot around your wrist to remember something. You can do the same by just wrapping the beads around your wrist. Have rings and such, let me not force them, but yes, just wrapping it around your wrists and saying a prayer that you should remember something. You can use it to basically tick down days for day of power, saying a prayer leading up to it each time. Basically, it's just your imagination setting the limit. It's a very versatile tool that can be used for a lot of different spiritual practices, and I do not think you should be afraid of using it just because it is associated with Catholicism. A lot actually of the tools we use in magic has some roots at least in Christianity, and or at least Christianity used them as well. It shouldn't stop us. It's a great tool, and I'd really recommend getting one. And if you get one, don't buy a $3 cheap bee like this one on eBay, because really this one I got because it looks pretty. If you're gonna use one for spiritual tools, spend a little bit more and get real stones and real metal if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, then well, go with whatever you can afford. So yeah, that's my just quick little video about how to use a rosary in pagan practice. If you enjoyed this video, great day, blessed be.